Hello, you wonderful people, and welcome to another episode of Super-Fanta-Fi. This being a show where we talk about TV shows of the supernatural, fantasy, and or science fictional genre. For today's episode, I'm going to talk about the latest episode of Legacies, a great episode. A lot of really interesting things went down in this episode, so let's break it down. This is the penultimate episode of Legacies, and obviously it's time to go to war against Ken, and he's forcing Jen to forge the weapon, and it's like, right, there's no guarantee it's going to work, but I'm surprised. I'm curious, would Ken have actually let Jen go? It's like, well, she did lock you up beforehand. Like, you were probably like, no, I want to take the chance that you might try and lock me up again, so probably when this is all said and done, probably would have come back and killed her. I don't know, he has his reservation when it comes to his kids, but later on, he's not afraid to kill Ben. Ben's the bastard son, but Jen's kind of the bastard child now, too, so who knows? So he's got his weapon, but Hope challenges him to combat. And he wants to act all great and glorious, but, like, he cheated out. But I guess in his mind, it's like, I guess Hope being there, close enough to him, he was able to kind of maybe read her mind. Because, like, how else did he know that it was a trap? It's not like anyone else was there to fill him in. So he must have, like, Aurora must have filled him in, like, whatever this is a trap. So ultimately she ends up going in his stead because she's like, well, because she knew exactly what they were planning. But to be fair, she probably got close enough because she was probably nearby the school and she heard all the heartbeats out there. She's like, right, as a vampire, she has super hearing, so she knew from the beginning it was a trap and probably went back to warn Ken, maybe. I don't know. Not because, like, he wouldn't have been able to get close enough to, like, mind dive with them or anything like that. So I'm curious how that would have, how else. That's my only thought was, like, Aurora was his ace in the hole that ended up like revealing to him that it was a trap or whatnot. But everyone was finalizing the plan. The whole point was to have Lizzie. She's been practicing on trying to use, like, set off the phosphorus and then try and put up a shield quickly enough to protect herself from dying, but it doesn't work. So, but, you know, neither one, like, MG doesn't want her to die, and obviously she doesn't want to die either, so she's got to try and make this count. Then on top of that, the wolves and the vampires are, you know, Alaric says they're going to be they're ready to go in the woods, because if the phosphorus doesn't kill him, he'll be weak enough at least that everyone else can jump in, dogpile on him, and put an end to him. So that's kind of what they're picking for to be kind of sort of their Hail Mary at the very end. That obviously this all has to hopefully work out. Ben even gave Hope, picked out a sword for her, because for him, the only way, like, even the lesser plan could always come out in the end, because sometimes it doesn't just always come down to the plan, it comes down to the warrior. And if you can believe in the plan, especially in Hope's case, because she's leading the charge, it makes everyone else believe in it too. So that's what kind of matters most in this battle. Obviously, you have Cleo off trying to get revenge. She plans on killing the rest of the gods, I guess she had some leftover phosphorus and was planning on lighting up those coffins, which Jim was like, oh, you were planning to murder my family in their sleep. I mean, it's like, right, my family may be dicks, but I don't want them dead. I just want them locked away. I don't want them dead. It's very much like Klaus. Klaus didn't want any of his siblings dead. He just wanted them locked up. So, you know, I don't know if Jen would ever, like, awaken the rest of her family. Her dad's kind of a dick. Maybe, you know, jumping ahead a little bit with him being dead, I'm curious, would she ever, probably, like, right, without my father around being a bad influence, because even she says, like, right, my dad brings out the worst in other people, even me. So maybe he brings out the bad in the rest of her family, or maybe she's just kind of like, nah, they're dicks on their own, so I'll still keep them locked away, just won't let them, like, run rampant, because there's no chances. God can't take the chance they might be like my dad 2.0, you know, so. But Aurora and Hope clash, and she does have the weapon now infused with the red oak, and it's got god magic, so it can hurt Hope. So even a slice, it didn't even have to pierce her heart. Piercing her heart would be instant death, but just that slice enough is able to kind of... Because I don't know if they've ever really done that before. Like, were any of the originals ever hit with, like, a sliver of, like... I don't know. White oak, because the white oak was always used in the means of, like, oh, let's stab you through the heart and you're dead. I don't think it's ever been a situation of it was used to wound you, because none of them have ever been fashioned. I'm trying to, like, other than the daggers, there were never any other white oak weapons, were they? I feel like in season 3 there might have been a weapon forged out of white oak, but I don't remember. Because there was always like the stakes, but I don't think anything was ever forged into a weapon like the red oak has been infused in this spear. So, but Aurora talks about wanting to end this because for her, she can never let go. Your father was a person I loved so much, but it was never returned. All I ever did was suffer your father's cruelty. I mean, they never made up, because Aurora did everything she could when she finally came back into Klaus's life in season 3 of the originals. Kind of caused a lot of hell and havoc, and some feelings resurfaced, but it's still like, right, I wasn't enough for him. He didn't want me, and he locked me up in that, had me sealed away, and I finally got released, and, it's like, right, he's gone and I can't get my revenge against him. At least I can end his lineage here. Because it's like, well, the rest of the originals are there still. Well, Rebecca and Freya are around. But what matters the most to her is like, no, I need to kill you because you are the last living thing connected. You are the last direct bloodline to Klaus. So I need to kill you. Once again, his siblings are there, but that's a whole other conversation. But it's like, you're his child. But I love what Aurora says later on when she kind of really goes deep into explaining why she has like such beef with Hope, because Hope represented everything she couldn't be. I was hoping that, because the thing is, she's like, I loved your father as much as I hated him, and I was hoping that I could be the thing to make him change, but I couldn't. You were. And that is the thing, like, no one ever affected Klaus the way Hope did. Even, I'd probably say like a close second would be like Cammy, like she brought out that more humanity in him. Because everyone was always, he even used her as a means to an end sometimes, but it was like, everyone was kind of a means to an end to him. Yes, he loves his family, but Hope, he wanted to be better and do better for Hope. She wasn't just a hope for this world, she was also a hope for Klaus to be a better person. He wanted to be a better father, better influence on her. And it's like, that's what hurt Aurora so much. It's like, you were a representation of everything I couldn't be to your father. And that's why she was so driven by revenge. But the thing is, Hope wanted to break this cycle. It's like, right, I am my father's daughter. My father, would end things, but he also wouldn't, because you never got to see my father after he changed. Like, because she was already dealt with at the end of season 3, and Klaus started to change more and more over the course of 4 and 5, and she wasn't around, because there was a time skip in between season 3 and 4, and everything he went through there. Well, no, because even in season 3, he started to change as well, but she also wasn't around. But he wanted to be, in certain regards, but he had started to change. He was a better person. He became a better person for her. He wanted to do the right thing in so many regards. Yes, her father made a lot of mistakes that he can never correct, but he didn't want pain to be the only legacy he left behind. And that isn't. The legacy he's left behind is the rest of his family, but in particular, Hope. Hope is his legacy. She carries on the good. And for her, that's what she's doing now. It's like, right, showing Aurora mercy, because that is what her father would do, because he made his mistakes, but he tried to do right by the end. So, but despite everything, Aurora still chose Ken, because she's like, it was just a ruse. But for her, it's like, right, your brother, my father, and Ken, like, you working with them, like, he sent you into this battle using a weapon he didn't know for sure was going to kill me. I could have ended up killing you, but he doesn't care. He doesn't love you. He doesn't care about you. Once again, Aurora's finding herself in that cycle again. Once Jen had pointed out last episode, she's like, at least I recognize the cycle I'm in. You're kind of blind to it. But, despite everything in the fight, Hope wouldn't give up. She would still keep going against him, because every slash is just making her weaker and weaker and is slowly poisoning her. But Aurora sacrificed herself in the end to break this cycle. She carries on those good parts of her father, that Hope carries on those good parts of her father, and she is up to her to end this. At the same time this is all going down, the entire plan falls apart, because I was worried because Jed was going to leave things to Finch, because I figured like Ben would get in trouble, Jed would try and save him. It's like, no, your boy Ken broke all the he modified all the curses. He immediately activated all the wolf's curse, so now the vampires have to go in hiding. If I'm not mistaken, like, she can't, I'm trying to think, she can heal a werewolf bite, can't she? I don't know if that's has that come up before? I think I don't remember now. Let me know in the comments down below. To be fair, Hope is too busy in the middle of the battle, so there was really no opportunity to kind of help any vampires that could have gotten bitten, but all the vampires were in hiding because it's like, right, that's a death sentence. I forgot, like, I don't think that's come up much during Legacies. The whole, like, right. I mean, it's obviously been a bigger plot point in the originals and Vampire Diaries because the only person who could heal a werewolf bite to a vampire was Klaus. And that's why I'm like, and that's because he's a hybrid, but like Hope's blood works the same way too, considering she is a tribrid. You would think it would work. Granted, like Aurora's wound couldn't be healed because that was a god magic, like and like her power, she wouldn't have been able to heal her because the god magic cancels out all other magic. So the moment she had gotten any of Hope's blood, it would have nullified any of the healing properties of it. So I think it might have been a situation of she probably could have healed the others, but it just, Hope was so caught up in the battle, no one would have been able to get to her in time. So, fact is, Ben is now turned mortal. All he ever wanted, and his father does it to him now just so he can't be any help. Alaric ends up having to kill Jed. I think, like, when he was like, oh, please don't let me do this, I didn't expect it being Jed he shot, and I didn't expect him having to kill them, so there's that. MG ends up getting bitten up, and now, Lizzie has to watch him die. She wants to save him, but can't. At the same time, Ethan's like, man, he's hearing about the storm. He knows what's going on, but his sister is stopping him because she's like, right, you do this, you're going to die. But for him, it's I can't just sit back and let my friends die. And it's like, if you die, you can't help your friends. And for him, it's like, well, without using my powers, I can't help them at all. So we've got 3 people removed from the board. Now we cut to Limbo, where Landon's in a situation of like, cool, oh, Caleb's there. Caleb wants to come back, but just when he's making the decision to take Caleb back, it's like, oh, cool. MG and Jed show up too, and it's like, man, we are really getting our ass kicked if you guys are already dead too. And because Landon was reluctant to do it because he got told last episode about, right, the more people you bring back, it's kind of a one-shot deal. Like, if you can do it once, you do it any more than that, it could change you. And he's worried about, like, what that can mean to him in the long run. Like, his emotions, his heart, him being who he is. That's why he got the job position in the first place, because of his heart, because of the good nature of who he is. But now it's a situation of, like, right, he ends up sending everyone back in preparation for the final battle. Well, because luckily, Lizzie was able to set off the phosphorus. Rescue guy shows up and sacrifices himself for her. I figured he would, because once again, he made that promise. And even Lizzie, when she had said talk to MG, because for MG, it's he's always, for her, it's like, you've always protected me. This was supposed to be my chance to protect you. But, and now MG's going, and, at that time for her, and it's like, now Ethan sacrificed himself, and here's Ken still charging ahead. So Hope shows up. Lizzie heals her wounds with her siphoning. Well, I guess she imparted some of maybe the god magic, some of the power. It's probably like siphoned some of the god magic and just kind of turned it into regular magic. So she was probably able to like push that into Hope to heal her wounds from everything. So, I mean, god magic does cancel out other magic, so I would assume like it would cancel out those wounds, as maybe that's how that works. Just when they're about to go toe to toe, lo and behold, it's not in this alone, because Caleb, Jed, and MG show up. So, but obviously you also have Cleo coming in clutch too, because Jen told her, right, it wasn't just a tribrid that it wasn't just Malivore that my father feared, it was also the Furies, because I guess they are people who cannot, once again, they go beyond just being an oracle, because they can see the future but also change it. So stepping in the end, and I guess getting a little bit better control of everything that she's capable of, she comes in through the end, and they put Ken down once and for all. I almost was wondering, like, because when her eyes changed like that, I was almost wondering, was she going to bite him and absorb his god energy or something like that? That's where I thought that was going to go, but it didn't. But Ken's dead. It's like, oh, we won. And it's like, oh, not as many sacrifices as you thought, because Alaric's okay, Ben and Jed are reunited. And because it's like, right, my friend Landon was willing to make this ultimate sacrifice for us. Because even Ben's like, right, a god doing that, there has to be some kind of price to pay with the gods or something to do that. It's like Landon was willing to pay it, so all we can do is pay it forward, living the life, this second chance he's given us. It is, I do appreciate, and I think it's very poetic that the Super Squad came together to end this. So I thought that was very, very pertinent in that regard. Hope and Lizzie sending off Aurora, giving her kind of the Viking funeral. It's like, well, she loved my dad. She admitted that, and my dad was kind of a Viking, so... And it's like, yeah, both the people who had the most complicated relationship with Aurora, but in the end, she did the right thing. Very much like Klaus, kind of, trying to do the right thing in the end, trying to leave behind more good than bad type of situation, so... But I like that. From Lizzie, that Aurora taught her an important lesson, that complicated doesn't mean broken. So, and everything with MG's farewell to Ethan is like, oh, that was beautiful. How, right, the world will never know. You might not have been the strongest person at this school, but knowing all the good that he did, like, everyone is able to be here now because of the sacrifice you made. And a lot of people may not know who you are, but I will carry on the torch of, like, Rescue Guy, like, what you did, what we did together, but your sacrifice, kind of taking the opportunity that Ethan has given him as well, given everyone, and to carry on that torch. And I would assume, like, he'd continue doing, maybe continue doing kind of a bit of a superhero thing in Ethan's honor. And then at the very end, we have Ethan showing up dead in limbo. And then just when Landon's about to send off that guy, he's like, right, I got sidetracked. Sorry, buddy. And it's like, okay, so what are you going to do, Landon? Because this is going to be a rotating door. It's like, you can't keep doing this forever, because it is eventually going to take a toll on you. Because, death is death. It has to be accepted at some point in time. So what are you going to do? Because the more you've done this, you've already done it 3 times now. So who knows on a cosmic level, like, what the hell this is going to do. Like I said, Jen's off on her own. Like, I love that the last time we see her, she picks up her bong. Is like, cool, Dad's dead. That's awesome. Ben's now human, too, because his father being dead means that he's still a demigod, but he can't live forever anymore because the curse is now broken. So he's still a demigod. He's still strong in that regard, but he just won't have the whole thing of, oh, if he dies, he can come back. And, it's like, no, that's gone now, so... It's so interesting because this episode in itself feels like such a series finale. It's very much like Supernatural's like penultimate episode, kind of, because for some people, those who didn't like the series finale, because even Jensen Ackles has said, like, right, everyone's feelings are validated. You liked it, cool. You didn't, that's cool too. Like, everyone's feelings are validated. You're allowed to feel how you feel about the ending, right? So, because I remember someone saying that they looked at the basically episode, I want to say it was 19. Like the 19th episode, the penultimate episode itself, is kind of more of a series finale than the series finale. That's kind of someone else's canon, right? So this kind of felt kind of almost like that episode 19. So it's like, okay, so where do you go in episode 20? Is it just a pure celebration? There isn't just going to be an easy like win. It's like there's going to be fallout. And once again, this is that question I brought up previously. Obviously, Legacies got canceled, but I'm thinking they shifted and changed this ending. Once again, they took like a couple weeks off, because like when episode 17 aired, I think episode 18 was supposed to air like the next week, but like they took about 2 or 3 weeks off, maybe. Walker, I think, was always meant to take that time off, but Legacies wasn't. I think they were trying to squeeze in and change things to kind of give it a proper ending. Once again, I'm going by this because I read, like I said, a tiny statement from Julie Plec, but like I said, I didn't read the whole thing, so take that what you will. So I don't know if this is how it was always meant to play out season 4 wise, or, how much they might have changed. So, like, because with the introduction of the other gods, I feel like, right, that seems like that would have been, like, a major through line for the next season. Maybe Ken wouldn't have died, or maybe he was always going to die, but then, like, the rest of the family was always going to be an issue. Plus, things what they're setting up with Landon, maybe that was always going to be potentially fallout for the 5th season. we'll never know. For right now, all we have is what we have, and this is everything's coming to an end next episode. But I'm still curious to see as everything is resolved, and it is a heavily bittersweet thing. I'm probably going to talk about it even more next episode, but it's like, right, this is the end to this like franchise, and it's like, right, this isn't just the end of Legacies, this is the end of everything. This is the culmination of the Vampire Diaries, the originals, and Legacies. So saying goodbye to it is saying goodbye to this entire thing. So I don't know, it's going to be interesting to see how the story plays out. I'm excited to see what ends up happening in the series finale. Once again, I'm kind of bummed that we're here, but I wish the show had at least one more season. But once again, this is where we are, but take what we can get, right? So I'm interested to see how it all plays out. But really, that's all I want to talk about. Until the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day, and goodbye.